Hi, welcome to my shop. A lot of times when an improvement for a product comes out or a new product comes out, we hear all the praises sung about how much better it's going to improve the performance of a machine. In this case, I'm going to talk about the helical cutter heads for thickness planers and joiners. I bought this thickness planer new back in about 2000. It had the 3-knife straight cutter head in it. It's a DC 380 Delta. I found this 8-inch Rockwell joiner at a cabinet shop I was doing some work in, and it's a 70s era model. It also had a 3-blade straight blade cutter head in it. I've replaced both of these to the Helix helical cutter heads. I'm not disappointed with them, but what I like to do is explain to you some of the things that nobody really explains in a video, or I haven't seen anybody explain it. First, I'm really happy with them. I've been using them for well over 12 years, and I've got no real complaints. It's just when I get something, I like to have complete information, and sometimes on products, people omit some things or they're not upfront about it, and I'd like to kind of discuss that. Both of these were straightforward. Helix made the cutter head specifically for this machine and this machine. This is a drop-in. Now sometimes after you drop these in, you have to readjust your equipment. This, being a thickness planer, is fairly easy. This here, being a joiner, was a little bit different. One thing I had to do with this, and I'll probably get a little more in depth with it, I'm hoping to be able to do a tear down on this and repaint it and all that, and go step by step and set this thing back up. But I actually had to shim out one end of the cutter head to get it parallel with the outfeed table on this. You know, that wouldn't show up with the straight blade cutter head because you can adjust the blades out. On these Helix head, you cannot adjust the blades. They set in a certain position, and that is it. So another thing, and they do tell you this in instructions, when you do change these cutter heads or cutter inserts, you have to be very careful to make sure all the surfaces are clean, there's no debris in there, and you have to torque these down to their specifications. What can happen is if there's some trash under it or you don't torque it down, you over torque it, what you do is you risk actually breaking these inserts, and that's easy to do, so that's one aspect you need to be aware of. You can turn these, there's 4 surfaces on each cutter insert. I actually don't believe I've ever done anything to these in over 10 years. It's time for me to turn them and check everything. They still cut well, but I think they could do a little bit better. The other thing that these leave, and I've seen the praises of how smooth the finish is and everything, but whenever you run a piece of material through these, the end product, the surface is scalped. And what it does is they run in this direction, and it's a little wave type thing that runs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this through my joiner. Both of these heads will produce the same effect, but I'm going to run this through the joiner, and I'm going to try to illustrate, scrape some off the top, and show you exactly what I'm talking about. It's hard to see, but you can feel them going across here. So don't buy one of these thinking that you're going to run your material through here and then you're ready to put your stuff together without having to prep anymore. All this can be removed easily with a smoothing plane, a scraper, sandpaper, but there is extra work to do to this beyond thicknessing or flattening it on your joiner. So I'm going to go ahead and run this, and we'll move the camera to where hopefully you can see a little bit better, and I'll show you what that scallop looks like. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take a pencil. I'm going to try to come across this as best as I can to fill in. And I'm just going to real lightly Okay, you can see on this board, here's a high spot, runs all the way the length. Here's another high spot. This is where the board is actually scalloped up and down, all the way across. Here's another high spot through here, through here. So that's what you're dealing with, and like I said, you can feel that. I was just lightly scraping just to remove the high spots so you could actually see what the scalloping is doing to that board. It wouldn't stop me from purchasing one of these cutter heads, but it's something that I think people should be very well aware of. It's an issue they're going to have to deal with in their product as they go ahead and process their materials. All in all, I'm happy with having purchased these upgrades for this machine, this one and this one. But I thought it'd probably be good advice for anybody considering it, whether you're, looking at a joiner, thickness planer, or have a old piece of equipment and you'd like to upgrade the cutter head in it. When I purchased this one, I think it was about 650 bucks. Can't remember what the cost of this one was. That was, 12 years ago, 13 years ago. I know the inserts themselves have gone from about $350 a piece to $450 a piece, which is a little bit pricey, but like I said, I've not turned the cutter inserts in this one since I put it in. It's due. I'll take some time. I'm going to break my machine down. I'll tweak everything out for adjustments when I do it. But they do last a long time if you take care of them. Don't put any trash through your machine. So I hope I was helpful for anybody looking at anything. I'm satisfied with having made the upgrade, and just give you a little more food for thought if you're considering something like that. Hope I was helpful, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.